Hey guys, it's Holly from The Run Experience. Today I'm giving you a 15-minute travel strength circuit workout for runners. It doesn't require a lot of space or equipment, but it is going to kick your butt for sure. Alright guys, so I wanted to give you this workout in particular because I know a lot of you are traveling constantly, either for work or play, but always on the move, and there's always a reason to not get that workout in. So I wanted to come up with something that's going to be short and sweet, but definitely pack the punch and make things challenging for you on the go. So the way this is going to work is it's going to be a 15-minute workout. 2 movements are going to happen at a time for 5-minute increments. So you hit these 2 movements in the first 5 minutes, you leave those, you go to the next 2 movements, alternating back and forth for those next 5 minutes, and then finishing the same way for the last 5 minutes. So the whole thing will be 15, but you'll be getting through 6 movements, which I'm going to go through next. All right guys, so like I said, this is going to be a 15-minute running clock, but broken into 3 5-minute increments. This first one, from the very beginning of the workout to the 5-minute mark, is going to be 2 movements, jumping lunges alternated with happy stars, which if you've seen some of our other videos, you've probably seen those come up before. You're going to alternate them in reps of 10. So you're going to do 10 jumping lunges, 10 happy stars, back to 10 jumping lunges, back to happy stars, for as many rounds as you can do for 5 minutes. You'll realize that 5 minutes is longer than you think it is, especially when it comes to the jumping lunges. So I'm going to first break those down for you. The biggest thing with these jumping lunges is that you want to use both feet together to power you through. You don't want to be dominant on the front leg or the back leg because your balance will get off quickly. So basically how you do this is you're going to start at the bottom of your lunge. The legs are split pretty evenly. You can bend this back leg down. The front here, the biggest thing you want to watch for is that the knee is not going over the ankle, which is a challenge even for me too. Basically, you keep your knee right over the ankle. It allows you to get a little bit deeper through here, really activate the glutes and hamstrings so that when you switch, you can use the right parts of your legs and not something in the feet and calves that gets a little weird. So I'll show you a couple here. I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm just going to do a tiny little jump to switch. A little up, switch. And you can see I'm struggling to keep that knee back over the ankle, but that's a really important part of this. So go at a speed that you can actually control the switching. The other thing is you don't have to jump high, just as long as you can switch your legs between each other. It doesn't need to be something super high. You can just do something small as long as you're engaging all the way through the back of the leg. Keeping the body upright, core tight, squeeze the glutes. That is the jumping lunges. The second is going to be the happy stars. So I'm going to lay down on the ground here. You're going to start in a big wide X position, and there's a couple ways to modify this, but the idea is your opposite arm is hitting your opposite leg for each rep. So I'm going to start out here in this X, and all I'm going to do is sit up using my core, pressing my low back into the ground, trying to touch that toe, just like this. If this is not something your hamstrings can handle right now, or the hip flexors feel like they're burning or gripping, the way to modify that is to just bend the leg. So you still want to try to sit up as tall as you can, get those shoulder blades off, but you're just coming up to the knee if that is too hard to extend the leg all the way up. The last thing is make sure you're resting, or you're laying the head back in between each rep. You want to get that full contraction up to the sit-up each time, including getting the head down. That'll make it a little bit easier to do that. The other thing with these is it's more challenging actually if you add momentum. It's not about this like static, slow movement. You want to really use those arms to throw up to the legs for those happy stars. So that first one's going to be 10 jumping lunges, 10 happy stars, alternating for 5 minutes. All right guys, so at the end of that first 5-minute mark, you're now switching to our next 2 movements, which is going to be the mountain climbers mixed with the goblet squats. And I'll first show you the mountain climbers. I've shown you guys this in another workout video before. You're starting in a straight arm plank, and you're just going to be switching the feet back and forth just in a little switch jump, trying to keep those hips level the whole time. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to start in this straight arm plank, butt squeeze, legs together, and all I'm going to be doing is switching from this little lunge position, trying to get as far to the outside of my hand as possible. For some of you, hip flexors might get in the way here, so if you can only come to about here, that's totally fine. Just remember, we want those toes straight ahead the whole time. So I'm going to start here, little switches, little jump. You're using the hips to switch the legs side to side, but it's not a big deal in terms of lifting everything up to squeeze the abs. It's a very low movement, and it's just really about switching those legs back and forth. That's the mountain climbers. Like I said, as long as the toes are straight ahead, it's not a big deal how far your feet come up. The second movement is going to be the goblet squat, which typically this is done with a kettlebell or some weight in a gym. The good news for you is you can use anything you came traveling with. Today I'm going to use this backpack, because I assume a lot of you brought that with you when you travel somewhere. So all I'm going to do is hug this tight like this, just across my chest. You want the weight slightly higher, more on the chest level, so that it's sort of above the heart. So your weight is focused here. You're just going to squeeze this tall. And all I'm going to do is just a regular air squat, holding on to it, keeping my back straight, pressing those knees out wide, like we've taught you guys before. Those toes, again, trying to stay as forward as possible and not turning out this way. That jacks up the knees and the ankles, and we don't want that. So keeping everything tall and upright. I'm going to show you from the side. Keep squeezing this tall. I'm trying to keep my glutes engaged at the top each time, just like this. So that's the goblet squat. Even anything relatively weighted will work for this. If you have a water jug or a couple heavy things you can hold at once, that'll do. A backpack is a good go-to because most of you are using that anyway. So you're gonna do 10 mountain climbers alternating. Then you're gonna pick that guy up, 10 reps of the goblet squat, keep alternating all the way through the 5 minutes. When you hit that 10-minute mark, we'll move to the next 2 movements. All right guys, so to cap this 15-minute workout off, I picked the worst part for last. And that's for you guys, because 15 minutes is a short time if you don't make the most of it. So we're gonna be alternating burpees, which is everyone's favorite already, and then we're gonna alternate it with a little walking plank, so elbow to straight arm plank. I'll show you what that looks like. But first, let's break down those fun burpees for you. You're gonna start standing tall, and the first thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna sit the hips back, put the hands down on the ground, and get those feet out to a plank position. So dropping down here, the hips go back, either step or jump out, whatever you feel like you can control. In a perfect world, you're then gonna drop the knees and then the chest to lower all the way down and press back up here. And then either jumping or stepping back in to jump at the top. So I'll show you a couple of an ideal burpee for us. Hitting the ground fully, coming up at the top, big jump, repeat. So here's a few in a row. If that is not feeling good and sustainable for 10 reps, which is what you'll be doing it in increments of, you can go ahead and take that push-up out of it, or you can just not jump at all. You can just step out, step back in, tiny hop at the top. So if you're not doing the push-up, you can just do the same thing to start, and then from here you can just step back in, little jump at the top. If you do feel like doing the push-up, go ahead all the way down, and then just step in to make it a little bit less impactful. A little bit easier to breathe, even though I'm still having trouble now. You're gonna do 10 of those burpees, and then you're gonna go into 10 little walking planks. So I'm gonna start here in this tall plank position, elbows straight, butt squeezed, weight right over the shoulders. And all I'm gonna do is do a little walk down to the elbows and walk back up to the straight arm. Then ideally you're switching arms each time. If I dropped with the left first, I'm going to drop with the right next. As best you can, keep those hips level the whole time. You're definitely going to want to start bouncing and twisting, trying to help your arms out. This is a big core strengthener, and it's a big glute stabilizer as well. So the key here is how little can you move while you're going up and down between positions. So sometimes we'll see it gets a little like this by the end. And we don't want that. Trying to keep everything stabilized the whole time. Again, speed is not the focal point there, so rushing through that is a lot less beneficial than actually stabilizing your time all the way through. You're gonna do 10 of those burpees, 10 of those. Each down and up counts as one. Go through all the way for the last 5 minutes of this workout. All right guys, so that is the workout, but before I leave you to get going on it, I want to remind you how important the warm-up and cool-down is, even for something small like a 15-minute workout. You want to make the most of those movements, you want to get that heart rate up in the right way, bring it down in the right way, and you need to do that with a good proper warm-up. 5 minutes at the beginning, 5 minutes for a cool-down at the end is plenty. We've given tons of videos and stuff on how to warm up, how to stretch those hips out. You're going to be doing those squats, getting down and up in that push-up position and stuff, and you want to make sure that the chest is warmed up, the glutes and hamstrings are firing before you get into that. So remember to do that, remember to cool down as well and stretch, and then everything will just make a lot more sense to your body that way. Kind of jumping in and out for 15 minutes is not recommended. So yeah, enjoy that workout and we will hear from you soon. Guys, if you liked this workout, we have a 2-week free strength mobility program just for you guys. You can get it by clicking the link at the end of this video or down in the description. It's just 2 weeks of awesome strength workouts, warm-up ideas, mobility stuff you can do to better your running, and try us out if you haven't tried any of our programs before. If you liked this video, make sure you hit that like button down at the bottom. If you have a comment or question, want to know anything about this workout, need to sub something else in, if one of the movements wasn't making sense, just drop it in the comments and we'll get back to you there. And lastly, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We are putting new stuff out almost every day at this point, and we want to make sure you see it, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. I think that's all we got for you. We will see you in the next video.